He would stomp her in the head if she was down. There was frequent violence. She would have black eyes. She would have bruises.
That testimony alone was enough to shake the courtroom, but Cassie wasn't finished. She came back with something even darker. New footage that allegedly captured Diddy at his absolute worst. When it played, word is Diddy had a
I was watching him very closely. I saw like his hand shaking a bit.
Full-on panic. Attack! This moment might just mark the beginning of the end for the bad boy empire. The footage, a 3-minute and 4-second clip, corroborated everything Cassie had been saying for years. It captured Diddy violently assaulting her, chasing her down a hotel hallway, grabbing her by the neck, throwing her to the ground, and kicking her while she was already down. He dragged her across the floor like she was nothing. That wasn't just abuse, it was dehumanizing. Once the footage leaked, Diddy tried to clean up the mess with a public apology, but it rang hollow. He said he was disgusted by his past actions and that he hit rock bottom. But this wasn't a slip-up. According to Cassie's lawsuit, Diddy was intoxicated and punched her in the face during an argument.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you gotta do that. I was up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted.
In the she's room, giving her a black eye. When she tried to leave, he pursued her into the hallway. In the footage, he throws her down, kicks her, and attempts to drag her back inside. She manages to grab a hotel phone, likely trying to call for help, while Diddy keeps intimidating her, even hurling objects her way. This horrifying incident matched her legal claims to a tease, and that's what makes the $20 million settlement. That followed so telling. The timing wasn't random. It came just one day after she filed. That's not someone clearing their name. That's someone trying to silence a problem before it explodes. Diddy's legal team claimed the settlement. Didn't amount to an admission of guilt. But let's be real, that's like getting caught on camera robbing a store and then saying you were just borrowing the cash. Cassie's lawyer made it clear. The video only confirmed Diddy's disturbing predatory behavior and praised Cassie's strength for continuing to speak up despite everything stacked against her. That strength cannot be overstated. Cassie met Diddy when she was 19. He was 37, a full-grown industry heavyweight who held all the power. Their relationship turned romantic in 2007, but the dynamics were skewed from the jump. He was her boss, her label head, her mentor, someone with the resources to make or break her career. That's not love, that's leverage. From 2007 to 2018, Cassie says she endured a decade of abuse, physical beatings, emotional manipulation, and participation in what Diddy called freak-offs. Intimate group situations that she did not consent to, but felt pressured into. Diddy allegedly recorded these events and later used them to control her. That's not a relationship. That's psychological warfare. Even after the hotel incident, Diddy reportedly paid $50,000 to acquire the hotel's surveillance footage, an attempt to make the evidence disappear. That kind of hush money doesn't come from someone with nothing to hide. And what's even more wild is that just before this footage surfaced, Diddy was publicly calling the allegations sickening and claiming they were all lies from people looking to get paid. But once the footage dropped, the truth hit different. Suddenly, that denial held no weight. The evidence spoke louder than any press release. But that hotel incident was just one of many. In 2009, Cassie said she was beaten so badly for speaking to another manager that she had to hide in a hotel for a week. In 2015, after a Las Vegas after party, she was allegedly assaulted again. 2 black eyes, a busted lip, a welt on her head. Diddy forced her to wear makeup to cover it all up. That's not just abuse. That's a calculated effort to make violence disappear behind a mask of glamour. This is bigger than drama. Bigger than industry tea. It's a criminal case built on years of alleged violence, coercion, and cover-ups. In May 2025, Diddy is facing heavy federal charges, racketeering, conspiracy, human trafficking, and transporting individuals for prostitution. If convicted on all counts, he's looking at 15 years to life. That's not a slap on the wrist. That's real time. And in one of the most powerful courtroom moments yet, Cassie took the stand, pregnant in her 3rd trimester, testifying against the man who allegedly tormented her for over a decade. That kind of courage is rare. She didn't have to be there. She could have stayed home out of the spotlight, away from the trauma. But she showed up. For herself, for her children, and for every survivor still waiting for justice. Diddy's defense tried to claim everything that happened was consensual, that Cassie participated willingly in a swinger lifestyle. But try telling that to a jury while looking at a pregnant woman describing years of violence, threats, and manipulation. That's a hard sell, even for a high-powered legal team. Cassie testified from May 13th to May 16th, detailing how the abuse shaped her life, how it left her broken, confused, and isolated. One of the hardest moments came when she described the freak-offs, saying she felt worthless, violated, and compelled to participate.
She is out in New York. That's her in New York today, and looking. We knew she was pregnant, and we hadn't seen her since really February when they announced that she was pregnant. But she seems pretty far along, and she will be testifying next week, taking the stand. We think that she'll testify next week. But that is going to have some impact, one hell of an impact on the jury.
Participate out of fear. That's not consent, it's coercion. She also broke down in court, recalling her time in rehab. In 2023, when the trauma hit her so hard, she had suicidal thoughts. That's the part of abuse people don't see. The long shadow it casts over a person's life.
I've talked about before how appearance makes a difference in cases. How Diddy's appearance, wearing a sweater, having gray hair and glasses and whatnot, that it's all designed for something. Well, optics make a difference in court. And when you think about what this case is about, this is about the defense saying that not only did Diddy lead a swinger's lifestyle, but so did Cassie. And that this was all consensual, and that they are saying there is no fraud, coercion, anything like that. When you look at Cassie getting on the stand, the jury is going to have to reconcile that image with the description or the picture that the defense is painting.
Life, long after the bruises have healed, Cassie's story is no longer just one woman speaking out. It's part of a growing wave. Since November 2023, over 70 lawsuits have been filed against Diddy, each one echoing a similar pattern of abuse and power manipulation. The empire he built isn't just cracking, it's crumbling, and now with evidence mounting, video footage in the public eye, and brave testimony under oath, it's clear. This is no longer about celebrity gossip. It's about accountability, justice, and exposing the truth, no matter how ugly it is. Cassie testified that Diddy controlled nearly every part of her career, alleging he shelved hundreds of her recorded songs and used those freak-off videos as blackmail. Imagine working endlessly in the studio, pouring your heart into your craft, only to have your music locked away because someone wanted to keep you under control. That's not just manipulation. That's holding someone's livelihood hostage. She even recalled a terrifying moment where Diddy and a security guard armed themselves to confront Suge Knight, leaving her petrified. Violence and intimidation seemed to be woven into every aspect of her life with him. In response, Diddy's legal team tried to paint a different picture. They presented affectionate text messages and claimed her involvement in these adult gatherings was voluntary. They also questioned her substance use and referenced a 2013 bar fight to attack her credibility. But that argument ignores how complicated abusive relationships can be. Victims often stay for many reasons: fear, financial dependence, emotional manipulation, and surface-level displays of affection don't erase years of suffering. Just because someone sends a heart emoji doesn't mean they're not enduring trauma behind closed doors. The defense even tried to suggest Diddy's actions stem from jealousy or substance use. Like that justifies anything. That's like saying, I robbed the store because I was jealous of the cashier's shoes. It's a weak excuse that doesn't hold up in any courtroom, and Diddy's demeanor in court told its own story. Multiple sources reported he looked visibly distressed during Cassie's testimony, sweating, dodging eye contact, even appearing to have a panic attack when the most damning parts came up. He had to take a break mid-trial. All the wealth, power, and fame in the world can't protect you from the truth when it finally catches up.
testimony has already made a significant impact, encouraging other alleged victims to speak out and shining a light on abuse that had been hidden for too long. The truth is still unfolding, and justice is watching. The empire crumbles. First, though, let's be clear about what Diddy's facing here. This ain't some minor charge that'll end with community service and an Instagram apology tour. Homie is looking at federal charges of racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. If convicted on all counts, he could be sentenced to anywhere from 15 years to life in prison. Let that marinate for a minute. The man who built Bad Boy Entertainment, who discovered artists like Biggie, who created his own clothing line and alcohol brands, could potentially spend the rest of his life behind bars. That's like going from the penthouse to the big house in one fell swoop, from making hits to making license plates real quick. And his defense team knows they're getting an uphill battle. Let's check out what TMZ said about their strategy.
And it will be difficult for Diddy's attorney, whoever's doing the cross-examining, to push her. You can't, you know what I mean? Like, you can't go back against her. You can't refute things she's saying and be aggressive with her.
They in a tight spot, for real. How you gonna aggressively cross-examine a pregnant woman who's bravely sharing her trauma? You can't, at least not without looking like a complete villain to the jury. But here's what's truly damning for Diddy. It's not just Cassie anymore. Remember, since November 2023, over 70 sexual assault lawsuits have been led against him. 70. That's not just a salty ex or someone trying to secure a bag. That's a pattern of behavior that spans decades. These lawsuits include allegations from individuals like Sarah Rivers and anonymous accusers, some related to Diddy's MTV reality series Making the Band. Remember that show? It was supposed to be a platform for aspiring artists to get their big break. But according to these allegations, it may have been something much darker behind the scenes. That's like thinking you're going to chef school, but ending up on Chopped with no ingredients. Now let's talk about the impact this is having on Diddy's empire. Since these allegations surfaced, Diddy's business ventures have taken massive hits. Major brands have distanced themselves. His alcohol partnerships with Ciroc and DeLeon have been questioned, and his clothing line, Sean John, has seen declining sales. It's like watching a skyscraper collapse floor by floor, brick by brick. His reputation in the music industry, once golden, is now tarnished beyond repair. Artists who once begged to work with him are now silent or openly critical. Former associates are distancing themselves, careful not to get caught in the fallout. It's fascinating how quickly people scatter when someone powerful falls. That's like rats jumping at a sinking ship. Everybody looking out for themselves when the tide turns. And what about his legacy? Diddy was once seen as a pioneer in hip-hop entrepreneurship, someone who transcended music to build a business empire. He inspired countless artists to think beyond record sales and diversify their income streams. But now, his name is becoming synonymous with abuse, exploitation, and manipulation. His achievements are being overshadowed by his alleged crimes. His whole can't stop, won't stop motto got a new meaning now. Can't stop, won't stop facing consequences. This is what happens when power goes unchecked for too long. Diddy operated in an industry where he was revered, where few dared to challenge him, where his money and influence could solve most problems. But some things, like surveillance video and dozens of accusers with similar stories, can't be bought or intimidated into silence. What's truly sad is thinking about the victims who sewered in silence for years because they didn't think anyone would believe them or feared retaliation. How many careers were damaged or destroyed? How many lives were altered by trauma? The ripple effects of abuse extend far beyond the immediate victims. Let's not forget that Cassie is just one of many women who have come forward. Each one deserves to be heard, to have their experiences acknowledged, and to see justice served. It took incredible courage for all of them to speak out against someone as powerful as Diddy. And that's what makes this case so important. It's not just about one man facing consequences for his actions. It's about challenging a culture that has allowed powerful men to behave this way for far too long. It's about saying that no one, regardless of their wealth or status, is above the law or exempt from basic human decency. The music industry has a long history of enabling and even celebrating bad behavior, particularly when it comes to how women are treated. From R. Kelly to Russell Simmons to now Diddy, we've seen a pattern of powerful men using their position to exploit and abuse. But that culture is slowly changing, thanks in large part to brave survivors who refuse to stay silent. That's real talk. This case has broader implications for how we think about consent, power dynamics, and accountability. When there's a significant imbalance of power, whether due to age, professional position, or celebrity status, can consent ever truly be freely given? And how do we hold people accountable when they've used their power to create systems of silence and intimidation? As Cassie's testimony revealed, the trauma of abuse doesn't end when the relationship does. She spoke about her struggles with substance dependency, seeking professional help multiple times, and still dealing with the psychological aftermath years later. Healing from abuse is a long, non-linear process, and it's important to recognize that. It ain't like putting a Band-Aid on a cut. It's more like recovering from major surgery. The trial is expected to last about 2 months, according to the Washington Post, with more witnesses set to testify. As of May 19th, 2025, Dawn Richard is scheduled to return to court, continuing her testimony about Witnesses described him becoming increasingly agitated. He was seen jetting, sweating through his designer tee, loosening his tie, and at one point appeared to have a full-on panic attack, struggling to breathe and requiring a brief recess. That's the reaction of a man who knows he's caught, y'all. When the evidence is so overwhelming that even your designer suit can't contain your anxiety, it's a wrap. Game over. Thanks for playing. Another interesting aspect of this case is how it connects to broader patterns in Diddy's life. Kid Cudi con-rhymed that Diddy made threats against him because of his interest in Cassie, and that his car actually did explode, just as Cassie tested. That's some straight-up movie villain type behavior. The details Cassie laid out about their relationship paint a deeply disturbing picture of control and manipulation. She tested that Diddy controlled where she lived, tracked her every move, and isolated her from her friends and family. He allegedly sabotaged her music career too, sitting on hundreds of songs she recorded, never letting them see the light of day. It didn't stop there. Cassie said he would use recordings from the so-called freakos as blackmail, forcing her into silence. On top of that, she claimed he made her get substances for him, all while expecting unwavering loyalty, even as he ran around doing whatever he wanted with other women. This isn't just abuse, it's a systematic campaign to break someone down and make them completely dependent. It's like psychological warfare designed to strip away a person's independence, self-worth, and ability to lead. That's some next-level toxic behavior. Let's also address a common question people have. Why did she stay for so long if it was that bad? This is a question that shows a lack of understanding about the complex dynamics of abusive relationships. Cassie explained in her testimony that she was confused about their relationship, that she had been isolated from her support system, and that she genuinely feared what would happen if she tried to leave. Add to that the fact that Diddy controlled her career, her living situation, and had allegedly threatened people close to her, and you start to understand why leaving wasn't as simple as walking out the door. That's like asking why someone doesn't just walk away from a lion. When the lion controls your food, shelter, and has shown it will attack if provoked, you move very, very carefully. The defense has tried to paint Cassie as someone who is naturally motivated, pointing to the $20 million settlement. But during her testimony, Cassie delivered a powerful response when asked about the money, saying she would give it all back if it meant undoing the trauma of the freakos and abuse. As this trial continues to unfold, there will be more testimonies, more evidence, and potentially more shocking revelations. But regardless of the outcome, Cassie has already won in many ways by reclaiming her voice and her story. She's no longer denned by her relationship with Diddy. She's denned by her courage, her resilience, and her determination to seek justice, not just for herself, but for others who have been silent. If you enjoyed watching this video, then go ahead and click on any of the cards on your screen for more.
And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
For years, Sean Diddy Combs has been keeping folks who witnessed his alleged dirt silent, using straight-up threats and fear to make sure they stay quiet. But now the streets are talking. Months after that jaw-dropping footage went viral, Diddy's trial just took a wild left turn. Word on the street is Cassie's own brother is stepping up to testify, and what he's ready to reveal might blow the lid off everything Diddy tried to keep hidden during Cassie's decade under his control. This might just be the testimony that flips the whole case. Let's get into it. The case that got the whole hood talking. In the heart of Manhattan, a these allegations are what prosecutors have termed freak-offs, wild sexual performances allegedly directed by Combs involving coerced commercial acts. According to court documents, these events sometimes went on for days, involved excessive drug use to keep victims compliant, and were often recorded without consent. As U.S. Attorney Damian Williams put it in the realest terms,
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
the indictment details not only these organized events, but also allegations of physical violence, including hitting, choking, pushing, and in one instance, dangling a victim over an apartment balcony. Combs allegedly used his clout and influence to maintain control through various forms of coercion, from threatening careers to straight-up blackmail. What started with Ventura's lawsuit has turned into an avalanche, with Combs now facing over 70 sexual assault lawsuits alleging decades of abuse. The sheer number of accusations and how graphic they are have even the most seasoned observers of celebrity drama saying how wild everything is. Among these accusers are both women and men, some who were allegedly minors when it all went down. The scale of these allegations points to something much bigger than a few isolated incidents. They suggest what prosecutors describe as a systematic operation enabled by Combs' major bag, power, and connections in the entertainment industry. The indictment alleges that Combs ran a criminal enterprise through his multimedia empire, including Bad Boy Entertainment to facilitate trafficking and other illegal activities. What makes this case particularly significant is that Cassie Ventura, identified as Victim 1 in the indictment, is expected to testify under her government name. Ventura's civil lawsuit, which accused Combs of rape, trafficking, and physical abuse over their decade-long relationship that began when she was just 19 and signed to his Bad Boy Records label, was settled out of court the day after it dropped. However, the damage was done. Her courage in stepping up appears to have opened the floodgates for dozens of other accusers and prompted the federal investigation that led to Combs getting booked. As we dig deeper into this case, we gotta remember that behind the headlines are real people who claim to have suffered tremendous trauma. The trial, expected to run for months, will bring testimony from at least 4 accusers, with Ventura as the only...
At the heart of the case are what prosecutors call freak-offs, wild, orchestrated sexual performances allegedly directed by Combs involving coercion, excessive drug use, and secret recordings. According to court filings, these events sometimes spanned days and included distributing narcotics to keep participants compliant. Prosecutors allege physical violence, including hitting, choking, and even one instance of a victim being dangled over a balcony. Through threats, blackmail, and leveraging his influence, Combs is accused of maintaining control and silencing victims. This avalanche of accusations began with a civil lawsuit from Cassie Ventura, now known publicly as Victim 1, though settled. Just one day after filing, the case reportedly sparked the federal investigation that followed. Since then, more than 70 lawsuits have been filed, with accusers including both women and men, some of whom were allegedly minors at the time of the abuse. The scope suggests more than isolated incidents, pointing instead to a deeply entrenched operation allegedly supported by Combs' entertainment empire, including Bad Boy Entertainment. Cassie Ventura is expected...
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they loved me and, just turn their back on you in a second.
To testify under her legal name, and her presence could be pivotal. The surveillance footage from 2016 showing Combs physically attacking her in a hotel hallway is expected to be shown to the jury, substantiating claims of repeated abuse. The impact on Ventura's family, though less discussed publicly, is profound. Loved ones reportedly may be called to testify, shedding light on the secondary trauma experienced by those close to victims. Even if they aren't on the stand, the emotional toll is likely immense. The lawsuit's rapid settlement led many to believe Combs was trying to avoid the case entering discovery, where more damning information could have emerged. Yet the settlement arguably accomplished its goal. It brought the allegations to national attention and encouraged other survivors to come forward. Prosecutors allege Combs not only used physical and emotional abuse to control his victims, but also manipulated legal proceedings and media narratives. In one instance, he allegedly had family members reach out to potential witnesses to shape favorable stories, and even orchestrated a video featuring his children in an attempt to sway public opinion. The involvement of Christian King Combs, Diddy's son, adds another dark layer. Grace Omar, a yacht steward, filed a lawsuit in April 2024 claiming she was sexually assaulted by Christian during a family trip and accused the younger Combs of participating in a wider pattern of misconduct. Other lawsuits include deeply disturbing allegations, including one by April Lampro and an account of a 13-year-old girl allegedly assaulted at a 2000 VMA after party. Claims that, if verified, point to abuse stretching back over 2 decades. These cases raise not just legal issues, but broader questions about the industry's complicity. Former group member Dawn Richard, who says she witnessed abuse firsthand, could provide crucial testimony. The presence of high-profile names like Usher, Justin Bieber, and Jay-Z in court documents, though not necessarily implicated, has further fueled public speculation. Bieber's past interview, where he discussed trauma from his early fame, has resurfaced amid these revelations, though he hasn't spoken publicly about the case. Ray J recently claimed on record that celebrities have been paying off victims for years, suggesting a well-oiled machine built to protect the powerful. Gene Deal, Diddy's former security, added fuel to the fire, alleging Diddy kept compromising footage of politicians, celebrities, and others to maintain leverage. These rumors are unconfirmed, but they underscore how deeply rooted this alleged culture of silence may be. The defense, led by attorney Mark Agnifilo, argues that the sexual acts in question were consensual and claims that Diddy is being unfairly vilified. They've tried, so far unsuccessfully, to exclude the 2016 video from evidence and have voiced concerns over potential juror bias. Their strategy reflects a familiar legal playbook: frame the narrative around consent, cast doubt on victims' credibility, and challenge the fairness of the proceedings. But regardless of how this case unfolds in court, the entertainment industry is at a crossroads. If someone with Combs' power and visibility could allegedly operate unchecked for so long, what does that say about the industry structure? What role did record labels, managers, executives, and PR firms play, actively or passively, in allowing this to happen? And what real accountability exists for powerful figures in music and entertainment? The trial, scheduled to run for months, isn't just about one man's fate. It's a test of the legal system's ability to hold powerful individuals accountable, and a moral reckoning for an industry where too many stayed quiet for too long. As testimony unfolds, including from Cassie Ventura herself, the world will be watching closely, not just for a verdict, but for the message it sends about justice, power, and who gets protected when abuse happens behind the scenes.